Hey, during this yoga practice, we'll have a focus on your breath in Backbends. So you'll be guided in a Vinyasa flow through a series of different backbendings. And during each pose, we're going to really try to put some exploration on watching the breath. I'm Irene, a yoga and mindfulness teacher, and excited to share with you this series of yoga practices focused on your breathing. So if you're new here, do consider subscribing to our Antara Yoga channel to stay in touch with all of the different yoga, breathing and mindfulness practices. So we're going to start today on our hands and knees. If the knees are a little sensitive, feeling free to place an extra blanket or cushion under the knees. And then we're going to use the inhale to slowly arch the spine, opening through the chest. And on the exhale, starting to round, head starts to drop down. Inhaling as you arch. And exhale to round. You can just start to move back and forth with your breath. Depending on how your spine feels today, those movements can be slightly smaller or slightly bigger. And we'll just do this a few more rounds. So really trying to give your breath the time to fully inhale and fully exhale. Doing this one more time. And then you can slowly come back to a neutral position. Now from here, we're going to keep the knees and the hips in one line. And you're simply going to walk a little the arms forward and drop the chest a little down. Now, depending on how it feels around your shoulders and chest, you could either simply have the arms a little in front. You could play a little bit maybe with just bending the elbows here, so you're creating more space in the chest. Or if you have got that little bit more mobility, arms can come a little bit more in front and you're really allowing the chest to drop. So head could be hovering, the head starts to come closer, head could drop or maybe even chin drop. And you want to be breathing very slowly towards your shoulders. So we're going to stay here for another 5 breaths. So you can be exploring the pose as you breathe through the nose. If it does start to feel a little intense, of course, you can always walk the hands a little closer so you come a little bit more out of the pose, or play a little bit with having the elbows down on the ground. Really allowing the spine to arch as you stay. One more breath. And then slowly on that inhale, walking the hands back up. And exhaling from here, sinking the hips down and coming to your child's pose. So we're going to move in and out of a little flow from child's pose to our Cobra pose. So you can use the inhale to come through the hands and knees. Exhale, slowly lowering down to the belly. Inhaling, chest lifts up for your Cobra pose. Exhale, press back through hands and knees and coming back to your child's pose. Inhaling through the hands and knees. Exhale to lower. Inhaling, chest lifts up and forward. And exhaling all the way through your hands and knees. And then coming back to our child's pose. Doing this a few times. So you can allow the movement again to come from your breath. And we're going to do one more round, and then we're going to just meet in the Cobra pose. So we're going to pause in the Cobra pose. Notice if your elbows are spinning a little out to the side. See if you can draw the elbows close to the body. And we're keeping the chest relatively low. So instead of kind of arching through the spine and lifting up, see if you can keep the chest low, feet nice and active, and thinking more head forward, feet back, rather than trying to lift to the maximum. You might play a little bit with also lifting the palms of the hands. So you're really starting to engage and find that strength from the lower back. And then hands can come down, and from here coming slowly back through hands and knees. And this time transitioning to our downward dog. So hips can lift up and back. If you need here, of course, feeling free to slightly bend the knees. And then we'll use that next inhale to walk the feet slowly forward to the front of the mat, opening the chest halfway up, and on the exhale, fold back forward. Inhaling, coming up to standing. See if you can also look up, arms reach nice and high. And exhaling, lowering the arms back down again. So we're going to do a slightly different sun salutation, really opening into our back bends and opening also into the shoulders here. So hands can come in front. You're going to use the inhale to reach the arms up. And then seeing if you can start to slightly arch the spine. So think hips forward, belly firm as you lean a little back. And then exhaling, folding forward. You can hook the thumbs behind your back. And leaning a little forward, knees can bend as you need here. Hands come down. From here, stepping back to your downward dog. Now, inhaling from here, your right foot steps forward, left knee can come towards the ground. And on your inhale, start to reach the arms up. Right big toe stays heavy as you maybe start to lean just that little bit back. Staying with your breath here. Exhaling, hands come back down. And then you can transition back to your downward dog. Change sides. So left foot is going to step forward on the inhale, right knee drops. Inhaling as you start to reach the arms up. Exhaling. Again, see if you can keep the hips heavy, firm through the belly as you lean a little back. And then placing the hands back down and transitioning back to your downward dog. So we'll stay a few breaths now, either downward dog or child's pose. And then inhaling, coming to the front of the mat, opening the chest halfway up. Exhale, hooking the thumbs and folding forward. Inhaling, coming up to standing, arms reach up and over, leaning a little back. And then exhale, once more folding forward, arms reaching over the head. Placing hands down again and transitioning back to your downward dog. Now inhale again, step that right foot forward, left heel can drop back down, and use your next inhale to come up into your warrior one pose. Once you find the position in the pose, see if you can bring that focus back to your breath. So allowing feet to be heavy with every exhale and arms to be long with each inhale. So we're going to alternate back and forth between our warrior one and our devotional warrior. So extend the arms a little higher up on your next inhale. Exhaling, hands come behind the back, interlace the fingers, folding forward with the upper body, pressing back with your left foot. Now really use that full inhale to come all the way back up, reaching the arms up. And exhaling, arms come behind the back, and once more folding slowly forward from the chest. Doing this 3 more times. So inhaling, warrior one. And exhale to reverse. Inhaling, warrior one. And exhale to reverse. Inhale, warrior one. Last time. And then exhale for your reverse warrior. And pausing. And then inhaling, coming all the way back up. Exhaling, hands drop down and transition back to your downward dog. Pause a couple of breaths, downward dog or child's pose. And then if the knees are down, you can come back towards your downward dog. And then we'll come to the opposite side. So left foot can step forward, coming up on the left side to our warrior one. Finding your way again into the pose and seeing if you can reconnect with your breath. Then we'll move back into our flow. So staying here, one more breath, using that inhale really to lengthen through the spine. Exhaling, hands come down. We start to fold forward, back leg stays heavy. Inhaling, warrior one. Exhale, devotional warrior. Doing this a few more times. Really allowing again still that movement to come through the breath. And if the breath starts to shorten a little, see if you can allow each breath to lengthen through your nose. Next time you come to that warrior one, just pausing a little longer. And then next time you come to that devotional warrior again, pausing in the pose. Inhaling, then coming all the way back up, warrior one. Exhaling, hands come down for your downward dog. And you can pause here or transition back to your child's pose. And then you can use that next inhale to come back to your downward dog. And slowly from here coming to the front of the mat, opening the chest as you breathe in. Exhaling to fold forward, arms coming over the head. Inhaling, coming up to standing. So if you can lengthen, firm the belly, lean back. And then slowly on the exhale, coming back down to your standing position. So we're going to do a chair pose, Utkatasana, and then come to our balance of the eagle pose, Garudasana. So you're going to sit low with the hips. So first, we're kind of using that chair pose to set up our foundation for the Garudasana eagle pose. Once you're heavy here, you can lift your right leg up, cross the right knee over the left, and drop the big toe down to the mat. Now you can stay here. You're like in that chair pose, sinking the hips down, allowing the legs to be bent. Or you could start to wrap if you like, and if you want to kind of challenge your balance a little bit more, that right leg around the left side. Now, as you start to wrap, you might notice your hips are spinning out to the side. So you can just bring the hands on the hips, see if you can rotate the hips so the hips still stay facing forward in the same line as your feet. Great. Now from here, if you're steady, you can reach the arms out. Again, if you're wobbling, you can always just sort of reset and ground through your right big toe. And then you're going to bring the left arm on top of the right, so crossing the arms, and then seeing if you can either bring back of the hands together or you wrap the arms, lift the elbows up and reach the hands away from the face. Keep allowing that weight to stay in your standing legs and sinking the hips down as you lift the arms up and bring the hands away from the face. Slowly exhale, unwrapping the arms, unwrapping the legs. And you can just take a moment to shake the legs. Coming to the opposite side. So again, we'll first set up in our chair pose. So legs are together, hips sink low, arms reach up for that nice strong foundation. Now this time your left knee is going to lift. So left knee crosses over the right. Again, you're welcome to ground that left big toe. Or you can start to wrap. Again, as you wrap, see if you can bring the hands to the hips, reset the hips, and sink the hips a little back. Great. And then arms come wide. This time right elbow crosses on top of the left, back of the hands or finding the palms. Arms reach up. And then you want to be, as you find the pose, again, really trying to focus on your breath in the pose. So using your inhale to slow the breath down, and then the exhale to equalize that slow breath. Staying here one more breath, and then slowly releasing the arms, releasing the legs, and taking a moment to shake the legs. Coming again to the front of the mat. Again, hooking the thumbs, reaching the arms up on the inhale, leaning a little back. Exhale, folding forward, hook the thumbs, arms reaching over the head. Now hands come heavy as you transition back to your downward dog. From the downward dog, we'll use that inhale to come towards a plank pose. Exhale, slowly lower down onto your belly. Now, we're going to do a couple of Salabhasana variations. So you can first reach the arms out in front, hands are heavy, feet are heavy, head can drop down towards the ground here. Staying here for 5 breaths. See if you can lengthen arms forward and reach feet back with each breath. It might look like there's not that much work going on, but we're really actively lengthening in 2 directions and focusing on the breath. Using then your next inhale to slowly lift the head up. Now, arms can slowly walk back, so hands coming under the shoulders, elbows draw close. Inhale, slowly lifting the chest. Now, option if you like to bring the feet together and slowly lift the feet, just that tiny bit up. So thinking more feet back and long rather than feet bent and up. Yeah. Gaze can be looking forward, and if the breath starts to become a little more shallow, you could just consider sinking down a little and then maybe seeing how it feels to lift that little bit more up. And then slowly exhale, release. We'll make a pillow with the hands and turn to rest on one cheek. Rocking, if you like, the hips from side to side. And then turning back through the center. Arms are coming behind you, and this time we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. Now extending the arms, using the inhale to first lift the chest up. Now feet can stay on the ground, or you can bring again feet together, lift the feet just that little bit up. So thinking feet back and legs long. And then if you can, really allow your inhale to lengthen and your exhale to lengthen. Now it's a little bit challenging here. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, lengthen. One last time, inhaling. And exhale. And then slowly releasing, come to rest on the opposite cheek. Hips can rock again side to side. And just softening through your breath. Now, on your next inhale, you can come up, just bringing the elbows under the shoulders. And from here, we're going to come to a half Bhekasana. So right arm is going to be sort of diagonal to your mat. Left hand reaches back and you start to bend your left knee. Now see if you can reach your left arm back to your left foot. Right foot stays heavy and you're just using the help of the hand to bring the foot towards you. Now, if you've got that space in the arms, now I've got long arms, so little advantage here, but you can spin the hand around so fingertips face forward, and that just gives you a little bit more space in the shoulder to press through the foot, and then you can just turn forward and gaze forward. You might use a little bit that pressure of pressing the foot down as you look up. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you could be just here, reaching the hand back. So arm is long here, and you're still creating that space through the shoulder and that little back bend. Exhaling, release. And just come back to your forearms, maybe rock a little side to side. And then we'll do the same on the opposite side. So left arm spins at a diagonal, right hand brings back as you bend your right leg, you can reach towards your right foot. And again, you could stay here, so arm long, foot long. Or you can start to bring the foot a little closer, playing a little bit with spinning the hand around. Chest comes back to the front here as you work on opening through that right shoulder and lifting up out through your chest. Breathing again in and out through the nose. And then slowly on the exhale, you can release, coming again back a moment to your Sphinx pose. And then from here, you can press back through hands and knees and come to rest in your child's pose. From your child's pose, walking the hands towards you. And if it's comfortable for the knees, you can just come to sit back on the knees. So the last couple of back bends we're going to play with are variations of Ustrasana, the camel pose. So your knees want to be kind of in line with your hips. If it's comfortable, you can start with sitting on the hips, bringing the hands also to your hips. And then we're going to use the strength of the quadriceps on the inhale to come up to our knees. Now, if knees are a little sensitive or mat is thin, you can place, by all means, some sort of blanket or cushion there. And the other thing, for a bit of extra support you could play with, is just tucking the toes. So that will just kind of maybe make you feel a little bit more grounded. Now, hands are going to come to the hips. You're going to be wanting, with the help of the hands, to guide the hips a little forward. And the reason I say that is as we start to lean back, often the hips want to follow. So to create the most space for the torso, you want to be sending the hips forward and thinking up with the chest. So using your inhale to really lengthen the chest a little up, really see if you can firm through the belly as you draw the elbows slightly towards each other. Head can either be looking forward, so chin is slightly tucked, or you could work on lengthening through the neck, maybe looking a little up, or maybe even turning the head to look a little back. If you do feel any tension in the lower back, just ease a little out of the pose and try to bring a little bit more of that work into strengthening and firming the belly rather than arching in your lower back. And then inhaling, if you're still in the pose, slowly come out. Exhale to sit back down on your heels. I'm going to do this a couple more times, and these next couple of times, seeing if you can bring a little bit more of that focus really to your breathing. So inhaling from here, coming up onto your knees again. Again, if you prefer, you could play with tucking the toes here. Firm through the belly, use that inhale to lift up through the chest. And now exhale, maybe send the hips a little more forward, lift the chest a little bit more up as you maybe start to gaze back. And really allowing the breath now to be your main focus. So if there's a little bit of difficulty breathing, you can try with coming a little bit less deep to the pose. You're quite comfortable with your breath. See if you can even work on slowing that inhale and exhale more down. Staying here 2 more breaths. And then inhaling slowly, coming all the way back up. And exhale, releasing. And coming to rest in your child's pose. So slowly coming up on your next inhale. Now we'll do a couple more different variations here. So you can stay with the feet about hip distance apart. We're going to bring the left fingertips a little to the side of that left foot. Right hand can be on your right hip. Now inhale, starting to lean a little to that left arm. See if you can allow also the hips to lift a little up. Now right arm reaches up and over as you gaze up. Now you can really choose from here how far you want to bring the hips forward and how comfortable that feels for your spine. So if extending the hips right forward doesn't feel appropriate, knees can be a little bent, and you're still working here on creating that space in the chest and creating that length in your breath. Staying here 2 more breaths. Exhale, slowly lowering back down. And then we'll change sides. So right fingertips come a little to the side, left hand to the left hip. Inhale, lifting the hips a little, or lifting the hips more up. This time the left arm can reach up, maybe slightly to the side if you've got the space. Creating that space in the torso, lengthening through your breath. And then slowly exhaling, release. And from here, coming to lie down on the back. We'll do a little counter pose. Knees can hug into the chest. Rocking the knees side to side. And then coming a few breaths, happy baby. So hands can slide up towards your ankles or feet. Whole back of the body drops into your mat. And you can rock a little, maybe side to side. Or pausing in the middle of your mat. Staying here 3 more breaths. So breath can start to soften a little, ease out. As we're winding the practice down. And then you can slowly release. And then take a few breaths. Feet together, knees apart. Hands either resting on inner thighs, or you could hold the opposite elbows and bring the arms over the head for our last relaxation pose. If this isn't comfortable, by the way, with the feet together and knees wide, you can simply extend the legs out for your regular Shavasana. So feeling free if you prefer to stay here a little longer. Or if you're ready, you can slowly start to make some movements with your fingers. If the legs were bent, just taking a moment to extend the legs. And then you can roll in your own time over onto one side. Just pausing on your side a couple of breaths. And then gradually coming all the way up to sitting on your inhale. And exhale, just relaxing into your seated position. So thanks for joining me through this practice today. I'm really curious how you found both this practice and if you've done any of the others of this series of focusing on different yoga postures through your breath. So do let me know in the comments how you get on. If you enjoyed the practice, don't forget to subscribe to the Antara Yoga channel, and I'll see you in the next practice.